Yo! What's going on, everybody? You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. I hope everybody's enjoying their Monday afternoon, having a good one, and getting ready to attack the week. In today's live show, we're going to react to day one of Giants OTAs. We have some injury news, some major injury news around Daniel Jones and what he has done so far at OTAs. We're going to talk Malik Nabers. We're going to talk Drew Phillips. And also Tommy DeVito. I thought had a pretty interesting quote about where he stands and where he stacks up right now on the Giants roster. And if he is a guy that is a cut candidate, like we told you 2 weeks ago, which his quotes pretty much tell me that he is a cut candidate. That's why you subscribe to the channel. We were right again. But, yeah, we got a lot to talk about. Tommy Cutlets, I'm going to say he kind of called out the Giants. We'll break that down. Major injury update with Daniel Jones. We have a full show of takeaways from OTAs day one. And we're going to finish the show with a good old-fashioned New York Giants Now mailbag where we answer questions from all of the subscribers. So shout out to them. Seeps, what's happening, man?
Not much. Kind of shocked by these DeVito quotes, and very curious to see how the diehards in the chat are going to react to it. It kind of seems like he's not starting drama for no reason, but I don't really know how to call it.
He's puffing his chest out a little bit. He's puffing his chest out.
I get it, confident guy. I mean, but man, I don't know.
You never want to be talking about your QB3.
Never.
And my biggest concern with Tommy DeVito going forward is, has the legend of DeVito and Cutlets outgrown a quiet backup role? Because when you're building a football team, you don't want to spend a lot of resources on the backup quarterback position, especially not your QB3, which DeVito is right now.
Yep.
And you want them out of sight, out of mind, until they are called upon playing.
Yep.
And I think you can make an argument. Tommy DeVito is a top 5 most popular player on this team right now.
Yes.
That speaks to where the Giants are at as a rebuilding franchise, and that's not a good thing. I don't think it's a good thing that your third-string quarterback's a top 5 most well-known player on this team.
And you're already going to have the debate between Drew Lock and Daniel Jones, and if you have that noise coming also from Tommy DeVito, I don't know. I understand what he's saying. We'll show you guys these quotes here in a second, but I don't know, just kind of stay in your lane a little bit, I guess.
Yeah, and I understand what he said too, and we'll dive into those, but just kind of a whole weird situation. Shout out to all 160 people in the building. If you could hit that thumbs up icon, the easiest way to support the channel is by liking the video. We're going to be here all off season long, putting out free, informative, entertaining updates. So if you could help us grow continuously, as we are the #1 Giants channel on YouTube again this month. Hit that thumbs up icon for us. Shout out to all the real ones in the building. Corinne says DeVito, way too much chirping.
Yeah.
Kind of agree with you, Corinne.
Also, I love Corinne rocking the 100-year.
Love the new profile pic for Corinne.
I love it.
Love it, CTM. Poke Moore in the building. Scott Hernan in the building. What's up, bruh? Dolphin Storm says, I'm sad Knicks lost last night and are now out. Yeah. We're all a little bit sad.
Finally talked Daniel Jones replacements.
We finally talked Daniel Jones replacements on Knicks Now. Who was that? Vibes?
No, it's Brock's boy.
No, Vibes, though, sent in the $20 super. Marsh, I know the Knicks. Vibes is my guy, though. I love that dude.
I love Vibes.
Rob Jigga says, done. Good to see you guys in the chat today. Rob Jigga, my man, Rob. Good to see you. What's up, Gavin? What's up, son of the South? Neighbors is him. Johnson, you. My man, what's up? Vibes is nuts, Bronx boy. Good to see you, buddy. Zach Attack in the building. That's my guy. Let's go Giants in the building. Another one of the day ones here. Nope is in the building. Andres Gonzalez. Dave McDrip as well. There was not, from one, you're sad about it. And I know it's a Giants channel. We won't spend too much time talking about the Knicks, but I knew I was sad when I drove home and I didn't get out of my car for 30 minutes. I just sat in my car, scrolled Twitter, and just tried to process all of the things that went by. And then I promise you, there was not a thought that went through my mind until I woke up this morning that did not involve the Knicks. And that is unhealthy. I should not live a life like that. But from the moment that game ended to the time I woke up, my brain was consumed by New York Knicks basketball. I guess I got to get a more interesting life. But it is what it is. It's end of a season.
Yeah.
And I know a lot of people that watch this channel support us over on Knicks, even if y'all aren't Knicks fans. So to everybody that tuned in and show love, we appreciate you guys. And to the Giants, real ones, Knicks now might beat you to 50,000 subscribers.
Yeah.
And you don't want to be the New York channel that gets to 50,000 subscribers second.
No.
Because we're going to party on the other channel and you guys aren't invited. I'm just messing. Shout out to everybody in the building. Cha says, I want a 100-year jersey. I'm going to be honest. I'm going to get one too. That is Giants football right there. That's Giants history. Are they the most beautiful jerseys? No. But you know what? That's New York Giants football wrapped up in a jersey. It was distressing to see you so upset. I know. I was upset too. And it was one of those where, like, I and maybe it came across in a different way. I wasn't even mad.
No.
I wasn't even mad. And it wasn't even where I was, like, upset with the team's performance.
Yeah.
I was just sad the season was over.
It's a kind of finishing like a TV show you love that you watch for the first time and you're like, man, I wish I could go watch that back.
Like as a host here at Chat Sports, I've done 2 Knicks seasons live streams, 2 Giants seasons now of live streams for the game days. And it's honestly to the point where one of my favorite days of the year as a host here. And also one of my least favorite days of the year is when the season ends, because it's over and you're on to the next, and the next day I got to talk about the next storylines. But those last 30, 45 hour of those streams at the end of a season where you just, it makes me feel like I'm doing all right, and we're getting you guys some that you enjoy. The support that you guys show and the love and just the thank you and everything where you guys are just the way that when the season ends and the subscribers just say thank you. And the subscribers just say thank you. That's the coolest. That's my favorite part of this job, because it means that what I'm doing impacts you guys in a way that makes me feel like I'm doing all right. Makes me feel like I'm doing all right. So shout out to y'all. It's my least favorite day of the year doing this job, but also my favorite because it's the end of the season. But I get to have you guys tell me how much you love this show, and that means a lot to me. My man Johnson, you in the building. I don't know if he still is. I just saw the chat though. He said shout out WFAN shout out. Yeah, so
pretty cool.
You guys are incredible, man. On the Boomer and Geo show this morning, it's on my Twitter. I'll put the link in my chat. They were talking about the live stream that we did on the Knicks channel last night, and they had nothing but nice things to say. Unfortunately, they didn't remember my name, but if y'all want to check out the WFAN shout out from those guys, that was awesome. Just kind of validates what you're doing. So shout out to him. You can watch the clip. Show it some love on Twitter. My guy Vibes coming in with a $20 super chat says, you know I'm always trying to talk DJ replacements. I do, brother. I do. And that's why I love you. Vibes, we love you. Thank you for coming back to this channel as you always do. We appreciate you. My man Razor Shockwave says, Marsh, love you, buddy. Does Neighbors keep 9? He said it is a temporary jersey number from now. I have heard, do you call it the grapevine?
Grapevine. Yeah.
Grapevine, is that the actual terminology on that? I have heard from the grapevine he wants to wear number 8. That number is occupied right now by somebody on this team. That player may not be on this team next year, and he supposedly wants to switch to that number. Number 9 is also shared with by Graham Gano, so he may not even be able to get to wear that number, but it is just a placeholder for now. As we got a 3-point goal. Mike G. Bang! Bang! My man Mike G, all he does is hit dingers, baby. All Mike G does is hit dingers. Shout out to you, Mike. The support you consistently show to this show it's hard to digest it at some point that people care about this show so much. And that means the world to me. That means the world to Seeps. The fact that you guys take time out of your busy lives and schedules to check in on what us two idiots have to say about our teams is pretty damn cool. Mike G, we love you. We appreciate you. You're a legend. You're a legend. Always remember the support that you show to me in this channel. Thank you, bro. He says, Mike G makes an interest. Marsh, what's the deal with Darren Waller? Is he retiring? Appreciate you, my boy, and Seeps. We appreciate you, brother. Mike G, from what I have heard, Darren Waller is going to retire. It is not official. He has not submitted his papers. He has not told the Giants he is retiring. But you can kind of tell the Giants have already somewhat started to prepare for life without Waller. Yeah. They draft Theo Johnson. They signed 2 blocking tight ends, and Jack Stoll as well as Chris Manhurst. You have those 3 players as well as Bellinger and Lawrence Cager and Tyree Jackson on the team. That's already 6 tight ends there. I don't think Darren Waller is on this team. And I put out a video recently, Mike G. I'm not sure if you caught it. I said it was my perfect offseason video. And I kind of regret a little bit what I said, which I don't regret it, but I'll try to lay it out for you. I said in my perfect offseason video, you make Darren Waller a post-June 1st cut. Because that means he doesn't want to be here, which is fine. He's got a lot going on in his personal life. I'm not going to talk about anyone's mental health because that's not fair to that individual. But I essentially said cut and make him post-June 1st cut. But at the end of the day, Patrick Zeman, the Giants are better if Darren Waller plays. Yeah. If Darren Waller plays football for the Giants, their team is better. Yeah. So the perfect thing would be Darren Waller actually comes back and plays. Because then you could have an offense of Nabers, of Waller, go 2 tight end sets with Bellinger. You got Hyatt, you got Robinson, you got Slayton. There's at least some players there. Yeah. Waller's a good player. At one point last year before he got hurt, he was the #1 tight end in the league in receptions and receiving yards. Is he the same guy he once was? No. But the Giants are a better football team if Waller plays. I just don't expect that to happen. So I made him a post-June 1st cut in my thing. But I think the perfect thing is he actually plays when he's healthy. He plays 17 games. That's a perfect move right there.
Yeah, definitely. But if he is retiring, perfect move would be making him a post-June 1st cut.
Exactly. Mike G.
The GOAT, baby.
Salute. That's all we can do to Mike G. Can I get all 215 people in the chat to just drop an MG for me? My manager came in here, dropped a $100 super chat. That's mad love. That's mad love as always from the Bang God. Not once, but twice Bang God. Let's go. Vibes says, who has 6? Bryce Ford Wheaton, baby. Bryce Ford Wheaton's wearing number 6, Vibes. How could you forget? How could you forget, Vibes? I do think that 6 is one of the top numbers that Malik Nabers. I've said that in about 5 videos now, called him Malik Nabers. His name is Malik Nabers, Marshall. His name is Malik Nabers. Also, Jamie Gillen, the punter, wears number 6. So that's a number that is shared by 2 players. I could see 6 being a number that Malik Nabers wants to wear. If he can't wear 9, you make Gillen switch, and then maybe Ford Wheaton's cut. But, yeah, the punter also wears number 6, Jamie Gillen. Bryce Ford Wheaton and Jamie Gillen. Yeah, I don't know what number he's going to wear. I don't. I really don't. And what I would say to you guys is just wait. Wait to buy the jersey. I know we all want to wear it, and it's all fun and games, but you don't want to be the fool that buys a jersey and Fanatic sends you it with a number 9 on it, and then in 2 days he's not wearing number 9. So I would just wait. Go get a Brian Burns jersey. Go get a Kayvon Thibodeau jersey. Yeah. Go get a Deonte Banks jersey. Go get a Dexter Lawrence jersey. The number 1 jersey a Giant fan should buy right now is either A, Brian Burns, or B, Dexter Lawrence. Yeah. I can promise you those 2 guys will at least be on the team for the next 3 years. And if you get 3 years out of a jersey, that's pretty damn cool.
I'll probably go Banks at 3.
Banks at 3 is cool as well. He's a minimum 4 years under contract. Burns and the Century Red would be cool, Michael Cook. Guy has a cannon for a leg, Mike G. Thing is with Gillen, he's either going to punt it out of the end zone or punt it 80 yards. That's for sure. Vibes, you the man, bro. Radcliffe and $5 super chat. Thank you for the love, my man. Says, Marsh, what QBs in the next draft do you think would be a good replacement for Daniel Jones?
Daniel Jones?
To be honest, I haven't done much homework on the 2025 NFL draft class.
Like, a lot of these guys are going to make a name for themselves this upcoming year.
You got Carson Beck from Georgia. You got Quinn Ewers from Texas. You got Shedeur Sanders from Colorado. Those are the main three guys that are getting a lot of love. A guy that's rising up the ranks right now is Donovan Smith from U of H. But there's going to be a guy like Jaden Daniels who comes out of nowhere. Maybe that is Donovan Smith.
I'm a fan of Quinn Ewers. Like, I think he's going to be a good pro. Obviously, we're going to have to wait and see, but
he's got all the talent in the world. He's still just a really young kid. I know he's entering his 4th season in college. He did 2. Yeah. He's done 2 with Texas. He was a redshirt at Ohio State. This will be year 4.
Yeah.
But he also graduated high school as a junior. So he's still a young kid. Is he 21 yet? Let me see.
I think he's still 21.
He turned 21 in March. So he's still a young kid.
Yeah.
Kind of gives me, and I can say this because I've covered him on multiple games in high school in Texas. I covered Texas high school football, and I got to watch like 4 Quinn Ewers games. Kind of gives me a little Jay Cutler vibes to where he has all the talent in the world. He's going to be one of the most talented QBs in this league. But is it here and is it here?
But since he's rocking the buzz cut, I like the vibes around him. I like the vibes.
Yeah, so that's kind of where I'm at on those guys, Rad. So Shedeur, Quinn Ewers, Carson Beck, Donovan Smith. Am I missing anyone?
I think those are the big 3, and then your guy, Donovan Smith.
Yeah, Carson Beck.
I think that's
Shedeur Sanders, Quinn Ewers. Donovan Smith is the sleeper name to keep an eye on.
Yeah.
But those are the main, and like in this mock draft from CBS, they have Donovan Smith going 25 overall to the Cowboys.
Okay.
So he's already getting some first-round love. I feel like there's a guy that I'm missing, but I can't think his name. But those are the main guys, Radcliffe. Yeah. Those are the main guys. Obviously, more people will come to the light as they have good seasons, or some of these guys have bad seasons. Tuto Azuri coming in with a $5 super chat. Tuto, thank you for always tuning in. Thank you for always showing love. It was awesome seeing you in the Knicks Now chat as well, Tuto. Says, massive salutes and respects to Big Boss Marshian Seeps and all the diehard Giants fans across the pond. And F all the haters, doubters, stinky boys, losers. Greetings from Cardiff.
Greetings.
I can't wait to watch Tuto Azuri on Peacock.
Oh, my God. I'm so excited. That 4:45 alarm in the morning is going to go crazy, but...
Tuto, is there a way that I can be the broadcaster for that game? I want to play-by-play Tuto dominating some dudes in rugby.
The bias would be incredible for Tuto.
We would be so neutral, dude. We would be so neutral. Tuto, thank you, sir. Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
Vibes, back again. My man, thank you, brother. He says, Radcliffe is speaking my language. He is. He is. And maybe I do a 2025 QB targets video sooner rather than later this summer. We'll have a lot of time this summer to talk about it. Vibes, you are a legend. You are a legend. Jay Truss. Thank you, bro, for the love. Thank you for the super chat. It says, how long until the Giants consider switching from Jones to Locke? Also, how confident are you in Flott, Phillips, and Banks' starting corners? If the Giants start 0-2, there's going to be talks about benching Daniel Jones. And that's just a fact. That is just a fact. The injury guarantee will start to become a point of discussion because... Let me just pull up the schedule here. Right? So your first game against Minnesota. If you're Daniel Jones, that's a must-win game.
Yeah.
Like, if you want to continue to be the starter, that's a must-win game. Then you got Washington. If you lose to Minnesota and Washington, myself and other talking heads that cover this team will start to talk about benching Daniel Jones. Then you got the Browns. Then you got the Cowboys, Seahawks, Bengals, Eagles, Steelers. 6 games in a row of teams that all made the playoffs last year. Right? Didn't the Browns made it? Yes, Browns made it. Cowboys made it. Seahawks made it. Bengals did not, but they have Joe Burrow. Steelers made it. So 5 out of your next 6 games after week 2 are against playoff teams, and Joe Burrow just led his team to the Super Bowl 2 years ago. So, look, if you start 0-4, and then you got Monday night, week 5, or Sunday, week 5 against the Seahawks, that could be when Locke comes in. What are my confidence? I got a lot of confidence in Banks. I think Phillips is actually going to be the starting slot corner for this team. Cordell Flott's got to prove it to me, JT, that he could be an outside boundary corner. Last year I was pushing like crazy for Cordell Flott to be the starting slot corner. We were calling him Cordell Slot. He didn't play that great there. He hasn't played that great in his career for being a third-round pick.
Yeah.
It's probably his last chance to prove it. But we all heard Brian Daboll at OTA or at rookie minicamp, unprovoked, bring him up and say, I've got a lot of confidence in him. So I'm going to have confidence in him. Rob Jigga, my man. He says, why can't Nabers use 88 as something different? Because he doesn't like it. And he could have already chose 88 if he wanted to. So that tells me he doesn't like it.
And he's a single-digit guy to me.
Yeah, he is a single-digit guy. Malik Nabers is a single. I think 9 is perfect.
Yeah, I do too.
I like the way 9 looks. Seeps what happened with Adoree to the Vikings.
ESPN linked the Vikings as the perfect fit for Adoree Jackson. So we'll
he's still a free agent.
Yeah, I said it. He would be a great scheme fit with Brian Flores. So I wouldn't hate it, even though he was kind of a cooked product last year. But
he'd be a cheap 1-year guy. I think he's a good CB2.
Dude, I was looking at his games. He has had so many injuries.
So many injuries.
Dude. Like,
the injuries have caught up to Adoree Jackson. There's no doubt about that. Rob says, Giants chat is the best. Thank you, guys. Rob, you're always showing love, man, and I'll never forget that. Thank you, brother. Thank you, brother. Mike G. Mike G. Mike G. On the first day, for me, it was really day 1 of Giants offseason for me.
Yeah,
because
it's like summer.
I'm honestly, for the first time in an offseason mode since the first preseason game for the Giants. I've been doing live game coverage since then. So finally, I'm going to go back to a regular schedule of working Monday through Friday, and I'm going to be able to put more effort and more focus on Giants now. And I'm excited about that because that's right around the corner. It's right around the corner. I think they said 16 more Sundays.
Yeah,
16 more Sundays. We're just one. We're a 2008 NFL season away from being kicked off.
Yeah.
Seeps, got to have one right now. J.J. McCarthy or Prime Marsh at QB for your Vikings. I'm riding with MG and being his left tackle. Let's go. If I got Mike G as my left tackle, I literally would stand in the pocket all day long. I'm like, he got my back. He's got my back.
If we're rolling in week 1, Giants, Vikings, I'm probably picking
Is my
Marsh.
shoulder fixed as well?
Yeah, Prime. This is
Prime Marsh?
Prime Marsh at quarterback.
If it was Prime Marsh, I bet I could outthrow J.J. McCarthy. I swear to God.
Prime Marsh and Mike G at left tackle. That's good stuff.
Mike G, they're going to come up to me after the game and say, hey, put your jersey on the clip, throw it in the bend, and wash it. I'm going to look back and say, this thing's clean. Mike G didn't even let me get touched. I can wear the same socks. I didn't have to sweat. I got Mike G as my blind side block. 6'4", 305. Get this guy a bust outside MetLife. He's going to the Hoff. Mike G's a Hoffer. Mike G's a Hoffer.
Franchise guy.
Oh, man. Mike G, thank you for bringing laughs to the chat. I needed it today.
Appreciate you.
I needed it today. Vibes, another $10 super chat. Says, Rob CS, it's not drippy.
Talking about 88.
Oh, yeah, 88 is not a – I know Akeem Nicks made 88 look great. Ike Hilliard, Giant wore number 88.
See, 88 I feel is like a big body.
Yeah.
Or Cowboys wide receiver.
I don't want my yak guy getting 88.
Single digits, though?
You look faster. It is a fact when
Yes.
you have a single-digit jersey on.
Or 13. Shout out.
13 was tough, too. But that's Jalen Hyatt now. That's Jalen Hyatt. Vibes. Yeah, Rob, the reason he ain't wearing 88 is because that piece ain't drippy. It ain't drippy. That's hilarious. Johnson, you! What a profile picture, brother.
This dude.
Giants are only 800 subs away ahead of Knicks. Giants need to step it up. How are y'all losing to a basketball channel?
A basketball channel.
Is it that close, Johnson, you? It's 800 now? So Giants is at... Knicks is at 47,357. Yep, Giants is at 48,100.
Watch out, Giants fans.
Kind of crazy. It's a race to 50,000 subs. And whatever channel gets there first, we're having a party strictly on that channel. Yeah, people are saying why not number one, and the big moo is correct. Number one is retired. Giants have a lot of retired numbers. Brooklyn Buff in the building, typing BDL. I'll never forget when Brooklyn Buff sent in that $50 super chat. That was crazy. Brooklyn Buff, I'm going to miss seeing you in the chat on game days, man. I am. Johnson, you the man, bro. You the man. There's not many people that support on both shows like you, and that's why you're always going to be my guy. Bill on the grill. What's up, Bill? Yeah, and I mean, they got their offseason. They've got the heart of their offseason right now. This is going to be a fun couple of months for the Knicks. But I can't wait for Giants watch parties again.
Oh, especially week one.
Gray in my beard. Getting old, man. Nabers him says unretire the single digits. Yeah, Giants have way too many jerseys retired. Like in 20 years, you're going to have to what are they going to do?
I feel like also retiring football numbers, it's just a little it's
Giants
different.
should have I'm showing my age a little bit here. I'm going to say the Giants should have 3, maybe 4 retired numbers.
Yeah.
10, 92, 56, and maybe 11 for Phil Simms.
Yeah.
But Eli, Strahan, and Lawrence Taylor, those are the 3 that I think should be retired, no doubt. I know that there's other ones for people way back in the day, and I get that. But those are the 3 numbers that I'd retire. And you could convince me of Phil Simms, but yeah, exactly. But
Pokemore, are you ready? Are you ready for week one, Giants fans?
yeah, I don't know if he's ready.
Oh, I'm ready. Sammy D rolling in. Sam Darnold, Daniel Jones. We're gonna have ourselves a treat. Everybody, week one. It is gonna be a disaster. I will be taking the under in that football game.
All righty, 272 people watching. We're at 85 likes. If you could, please hit that thumbs up icon. We're going to talk about Tommy DeVito and his quotes to ESPN about his job as a member of the Giants. We'll then talk about day 1 of OTAs with a major Daniel Jones injury update. And then we'll close the show with a mailbag. If you want to be featured on the mailbag, hashtag Giants or Super Chat. But it sounds like with the amount of Super Chats we've already got in there, you're probably going to have to Super Chat to get on the show. I'll continue to keep my eyes on the chat and engage with you guys. I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. Hit that thumbs up icon. 7 likes away from 100. And let's dive into it. You ready, Seeps? Seeps is in off-season mode. Early look there at the Tommy DeVito quote, if you were wondering. What a tease. All right. Did Tommy DeVito call out Joe Shane, Brian Daboll, and the New York Football Giants? We're going to unpack that on today's video as you're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports, and I am your host, Marshall Green. Tommy DeVito thinks he deserves to be on the Giants' 53-man roster as they cut it down from 90 going into the regular season. And you know what? I agree with DeVito. He has earned the right to be on this team. But I don't know if I love the quotes that he's got coming out that he said to ESPN. This is what he said, quote, "Yeah, asking if he's going to make the team. Yeah, we're not having this conversation for sure if I was a third-round pick. But at the end of the day, like I said, control what you can control. Keep the chip on my shoulder and keep working. Everyone has always been overlooked. And it's kind of the same deal I was in last year. I know the offense now, and I've been in some situations before, looking forward to doing it again. And you know what? I agree with a lot of what Tommy DeVito just said in that quote. And Tommy, he played well enough to get a spot. If you had a quarterback on a rookie contract and he played 9 games for you, he had 6 starts, and he goes 3-3, and he's named the NFC Offensive Player of the Week for a primetime performance against the Green Bay Packers, every single franchise would bring him back because he's a cheap, cost-controlled quarterback that has proven he can step in and a spot start and produce and win games. And he had some big-time moments for the Giants. Completed 64% of his passes in 9 games, over 1,100 yards, 8 touchdowns, 3 interceptions, and he didn't really have much time back there as he was sacked 37 times. And I think you can make the argument that DeVito may have been the best quarterback last year. I thought Tyrod Taylor played the best. My eyes told me that. But the fact that it's even a conversation of who played better, Tommy DeVito, Daniel Jones, or Tyrod Taylor, I think that alone gives Tommy a spot with his name written in Sharpie in the 53-man roster. My parents told me this growing up. Life's not always fair. It isn't. And especially not in sports. Sports are not fair. Life is not fair. Daniel Jones and Drew Lock. Daniel Jones and Drew Lock, they are going to make this team. $5 million paid for Drew Lock. We know how much Daniel Jones is making it. And the only way I see the Giants keeping 3 quarterbacks is the only way I see Tommy DeVito making this roster is if they keep 3 quarterbacks. In Joe Shane's era as a GM, he kept 2 QBs in 2022. He kept 2 QBs in 2023. But could the Giants be keeping 3 quarterbacks with the Daniel Jones injury concerns? Coming off an ACL, we know the neck injury. So many backup quarterbacks played last year. Maybe the Giants do keep 3 QBs this time around. And I think that definitely could be a possibility. But that's the only way that he would end up making this roster. He's not making it over Daniel Jones. He's not making it over Drew Lock. He will have to compete to make this roster. And if he does, he will be QB3, where he may be inactive for most games. That's just the only way I see him making it, is that they keep 3 QBs. And you might need to do that with an injured quarterback and how we saw last year how many quarterbacks went down. And honestly, Giants would put themselves in a good spot if they do keep Tommy DeVito. I've got more thoughts about this around the corner, but I want to hear from all the real ones in the comments before I give my final takes on this. Does Tommy DeVito make the Giants' 53-man roster? What do you think? Does he make the final 53? He says he deserves it. And he says if he's a third-round pick, it wouldn't even be a question. And I kind of agree with that to an extent. But also, as a backup QB, supposed to be out of sight, out of mind. And I'm worried that Tommy DeVito, the legend, has grown so much, he's played himself out and, quite frankly, maybe talked himself out of a backup role. I don't know. Maybe I'm just over-investigating. Y for yes and for no, does DeVito make the Giants' 53-man roster? I'm sure if you put Joe Shane up to a lie detector and you told him, what is your ideal outcome for Tommy DeVito this year going into the Giants is, they cut him, he clears waivers, and then you're able to bring him back to the practice squad. But I don't see a world where if the Giants do cut Tommy DeVito, A, he resigns to your practice squad because he probably feels disrespected and knows he doesn't have a shot to be a part of this team's long-term future at the quarterback position. And B, I don't see 31 other teams thinking that their QB2 is better than Tommy DeVito. He went 3-3 as a starter in his rookie year as a UDFA with the worst offensive line in the league and question marks at the playmaker position. There are not, I don't think, 64 QBs better than Tommy DeVito right now. So I don't see if the Giants cut him coming back to the practice squad or being available. But I do want to say this about Tommy DeVito. Man, I love the dog he's got. I love the competitive spirit he has. I love the mindset that he has. Because as an athlete who is in a spot that he is in, and he's not gifted with elite traits, he doesn't have a top 10 arm, he doesn't have top 10 feet, doesn't have top 10 mobility. But if you're going to be an underdog, and you're going to have to prove it. You got to have a mindset of it's me versus the world. And that's exactly what Tommy DeVito has, and that is why I will always respect him as a competitor. He said this to ESPN, quote, "I was never worried. Everything happens for a reason. I showed what I could do on the field. Obviously, there are highs and lows, but to be a rookie thrown into it, it's a tough deal. I try to make the most of it and then control what I can control." Tommy DeVito is an easy guy to root for a lot of different reasons, right? The hometown kid, the hometown legend. Went to college at Illinois but finished at Syracuse. Or maybe I have that backwards. Went to a local college. A lot of people can relate to him. He was really the shining light with this through a very dark time of last year's season. He's very relatable, and he's a competitor. And he kind of embodies what it means to be a New Yorker. Against all odds, prove them wrong, prove yourself right, and do whatever it takes. And when you get that opportunity, run with it. And you know what? I can never knock a guy for that. Even if I don't think he's a great quarterback, I'll always respect the hustle and competitor that he is. More thoughts about DeVito and Daniel Jones around the corner. But first, make sure you are hooked up with our proud sponsor by going to chatsports.com/Burns and getting a Bryant Burns jersey for the regular season. They've got blue, they've got white. Soon they will have the 100th Century Red jerseys. Get yours today so it's here by week 1. If you're going to buy any Giants jersey, my suggestion would be Burns or Dexter Lawrence. I can promise you those two guys will be on the team for at minimum this season and next season. Chatsports.com/Burns. Link is clickable in the comments and description of today's show. If I was the general manager for the New York Football Giants, and I am actually changing my mind here, so flip-flop marsh. I would keep Tommy DeVito and Drew Lock as well as Daniel Jones. I would keep 3 quarterbacks on this roster. Maybe that means you go short on a running back who you can return Gary Brightwell to your practice squad if you want. You don't want to be in a spot where you keep 2 quarterbacks, Daniel Jones gets hurt again, then Drew Lock is inserted in the starting lineup, and you don't have a backup quarterback. I would keep DeVito and Lock because we can't ignore Daniel Jones' injury guarantee as well as his injury history. He's had 2 major neck injuries. He's now had a major knee injury. The data tells me he's probably going to get hurt again. And if the Giants start 0-2, if the Giants start 0-3, you got Minnesota, Washington. Then you got Cleveland, Cowboys, Seattle, Bengals, Eagles, Steelers. That's 6 games against 5 playoff teams, and the only one that's not a playoff team from last year is the Bengals, and that's because Joe Burrow got hurt. You can't forget about the injury guarantee. We saw Denver bench Russell Wilson because of his injury guarantee. We saw the Las Vegas Raiders bench Derek Carr for his injury guarantee. If the Giants start the season slow, there's going to be people up in that front office saying, are we going to run the risk of just losing games and having Daniel Jones get hurt and putting him on the books for $23 million next year? That's something that they're going to juggle, and I think it makes that decision a little easier if you have Locke and DeVito as your game day active quarterbacks. This might be a surprise to some people. Even though I don't think Daniel Jones is a franchise quarterback, and people are calling me a hate account on Twitter for Daniel Jones because I don't think he's a franchise quarterback, even though I don't think DJ is a franchise quarterback and will ever win a Super Bowl, if he is our starting quarterback week 1, I will be rooting for him. I hope you guys know that because I'm a Giants fan. And the best way for the Giants to be successful in 2024 is that this guy, Daniel Jones, has his best year of his career. The fastest way for the Giants to get back on track, the fastest way for the Giants to compete in the NFC East is for Daniel Jones to be a good quarterback. And we saw him have success managing games and winning games and even a playoff game in 2022. No matter what I think about him, it doesn't matter. He is my franchise's quarterback, and I would never root for anyone on the Giants to fail. Am I rooting for him to not be good? Absolutely not. I am rooting for him to win games. And the fastest way for them to be good, in my opinion, is for him to actually be a good quarterback. That's just my opinion on that. Some injury news for Daniel Jones. This is good news. We're recording this video on Monday. Giants just wrapped up their first OTA session, and Daniel Jones participated in 7-on-7 drills. Tore his ACL in Week 9, and he's participating in 7-on-7 drills here in May. So quick turnaround, and I actually think he's going to be ready to go Week 1. I do. I think he'll be ready to go Week 1. We might even see him in the preseason. I say all that to say, though, this is Daniel Jones' last chance. This is his last chance. He has a cap relief of almost $20 million if you cut him after this season. If he doesn't play well and he doesn't stay healthy and he doesn't win games, it's going to be his last chance of the year, of his career, to be honest with you, to be the Giants starting quarterback. What's your confidence level in Daniel Jones? What's your confidence level in Daniel Jones? Scale 1 to 10. 1 to 10. 1 being you're not confident. 10, you got all the trust in the world in him. Let me know what you think, and make sure you are following me over on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram. Hit me up over there. Give me a follow, and let's go Big Blue. Saw someone in the chat say, Rich Rod 908. It's not Rich, is it? I don't think so. Anyways, I'd say it to him too. Says that means don't bash him if he has a game for like 220 yards and 2 TDs. If he throws for 220 yards and 2 TDs and no picks, that's a hell of a game for Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
But I'll tell you this. If he plays bad, I'm going to talk about it. It's my job. My job is not to be a cheerleader. My job is to give you my God-honest thoughts and takes and inform and entertain. If my mother was the quarterback for the Giants and she played like shit, you know what I would start a Monday video with? The Giants have a quarterback problem. Yeah. The girl that they have under center right now is not getting it done. Carol Green is costing the Giants wins. I don't care who it is. I don't care what position. My job is to entertain, inform, and be honest about the Giants. If Daniel Jones played good, I will tell you he plays good, and I will be there being a cheerleader. Yeah. If he plays bad, I'm going to let you know he played bad. Just like I would let you know if Carol played bad. So, for the people that are like, Marshall, you're a Daniel Jones hater. 1, I don't know Daniel Jones. Therefore, I can't hate him. 2, I just don't think he's a good quarterback. Seeps, you know what? Watch this. Seeps, I don't think you're a good quarterback. Do I hate you?
I don't know, man.
Can you do that? Are we
No.
allowed to say we don't think someone's good at quarterback and like them?
Yeah.
I love Bronx Boy. That motherfucker can't throw for shit. See how easy that is? You see how easy that is? I think Seeps would be a terrible quarterback for the Giants. Still my guy. Still my guy.
You haven't.
Bill.
You haven't seen enough.
Bill, do you understand? Am I coming across clear? I hope I am.
Dwayne.
Exactly. Why do I hate Seeps? Because I don't think he's a quarterback.
That's fucked up, dude.
Are you calling me Puddin' or Karen Puddin'? Because that's a big thing we got to decide.
Carroll is the number 1 DJ replacement, though.
Carol Green, number 1 DJ replacement.
That's funny.
Don't call me Puddin'.
Oh, my God.
Oh, man. Carol went to a basketball school in U of H, so probably can't draft her at quarterback. That's what y'all told me about Drake May. Remember that?
Oh, yeah. Can't draft him.
Can't draft him. He went to a basketball school.
Can't touch him. Nope, you haven't seen me, dog.
Like, serious. How, isn't that crazy?
It's not even like he's had. Okay, yes, he has won a playoff game.
He had one good year, and the good was still 15th best QB in the NFL.
We had 2 good games, both against the worst defense of all time.
She does. Bronx Boy, she's the bouncer of the club. She decides who's in and who's out. Seriously, Marshall, you hate Daniel Jones. Me, why do you think I hate him? Because you don't think he's a good quarterback. I don't think Seeps is a good quarterback. I don't hate him.
But vibes, saying Seeps, me personally, I'm not letting anyone say I'm a shitty quarterback. That's just me, though. He's stirring it. I will say, my senior year of college, I was a quarterback for a flag football team. we were the #1 overall seed, and then we did lose in the first round to an all-freshman team. It was absolutely devastating.
Did you throw a pick six?
No, but that was actually the only time I pulled my hamstring.
You pulled an OG and an OB?
Like, on one of the first plays of that game, our offense was terrible. I played a bad game, so.
Vibes, thank you for always making me laugh, man. Thank
Appreciate
you.
Your vibes.
Is that Rich? It says Rich Rob 908. Marshall Jones will be the best QB in the NFC East this season. Book it. Hey, I hope you're right. That means the Giants are going to be winning games, and I'm not going to have to lie to you guys about how bad they are. And you won't have to do karaoke at halftime of Week 6.
Dog.
Last
you cannot
season was
have
hard.
watch part like
Last
that.
season was hard, man.
That
It was
hard.
That was not fun. I didn't have fun watching the Giants last year. I had fun hanging out with you all.
It honestly turned out to just us hanging out. It wasn't even about the damn game.
No one cared about the game.
No.
We just had to be more positive, though.
Yeah. Oh. That was funny. That was funny.
Dwayne Murphy. Yep. My favorite thing about Marshall is his hate for Daniel Jones. That's why I subscribed.
Yep.
You got me figured out, brother.
The hangouts were epic. Oh, Bronx boy.
They were fun. New season, new team, Corinne. Bryce asked, where's the best place to sit at MetLife? Somebody let him know.
Row 1, 50-yard line.
I have never been to a game at MetLife. Embarrassing, I know. But if someone wants to let Bryce know where to sit, maybe a guy like Cha, who has been to almost every Giants home game in the last 30 years, Cha? 30 years? 30 years? King Lobo says section 117. I haven't, I know. Very disappointing. Neighbors is him, my guy. Appreciate you. All righty. Shout out to you guys. 280 people watching. Y'all are the best. If you could, hit that thumbs up icon for us. It means a lot. It helps the channel grow. So if you like what you're watching, or maybe you just don't hate what you're watching, I'd appreciate it if you hit the thumbs up icon. We're going to get to a mailbag in about 25 minutes. Nope says the Dolphins game at the end was kind of funny. I don't even remember that game.
The Dolphins last?
Yeah, they got cooked. Didn't they? They started to blow us out at the end, if I remember correctly.
I don't know. Like the last 10 Giants games just were all the same.
They were the same.
Same thing.
They were the same.
The season ended that Niners game, whatever that was.
The season ended after week 1.
Yeah, after the first drive.
First drive when Andrew Thomas's hamstring was at the 50-yard line. Like, if you actually think about what happened that first drive, you drive the ball down their throat. You're 3rd and 1. Timeout Daniel Jones. False start.
It's crazy.
Bad snap. 4th and 11. You're going up 3. All right, at least we're going to get 3.
Yeah.
At least we're getting field goal block. They turn it for 7.
It's going the other
Andrew
way.
Thomas is hurt on the ground, torn a hamstring. A 10-point swing. A 14-point swing. You could have scored. It was 3rd and 1.
That just like the season ended right there.
And then Saquon Barkley pitches the ball to the Cowboys and they score.
Yeah.
And then Eli Manning.
And then the Cardinals week 2, you come out, you get blasted in the first half. Was that? And it was Josh Dobbs. What a year.
What a year.
What a year.
Devin Davis, thank you for the super chat, homie. Says, what are you looking forward to in Hard Knocks offseason? Mine is Wink quitting and walking out. I wouldn't get your hopes up that that's a part of it. I have no idea what's going to be a part of. I'm just interested to see the behind-the-scenes stuff. How does Joe Shane go about things on a day-to-day basis that we don't get to see? How do Shane and Daboll operate behind the scenes? How much input does Brian Daboll have on the roster?
Yeah.
Do they show anything about the Saquon Barkley negotiations? Do they give you a look inside the Brian Burns trade? Do they show you them trying to move up with the Patriots to select Drake May? Do they show them weighing the options of J.J. McCarthy or Malik Nabers at pick number 6.
I want to see the draft stuff, like the whole debating, I hope there's like a clip where it's like the Patriots give a counteroffer. It's like, hey, if you include next year's first and like an extra second, whatever it may be, like then we'll have you guys move up to 3.
So yeah, those are the things I'm looking forward to. I want to see if they give us any sort of insight on the draft. Saquon negotiations would be cool. But remember, guys, the Giants didn't give Saquon a contract offer. Remember?
Mr. Rick, are you going to be rocking some purple and gold week 1?
That's funny. Also, this isn't the Hard Knocks that we're all used to. This is a brand new type of Hard Knocks. You will not see the Giants practicing. It'll take place from January to, I think they said May. Or January to June. So it's not the preseason Hard Knocks that we're all accustomed to. This is a new series.
Oh, yeah.
All right. 266 people in the building. Hit that thumbs up icon, and let's talk day 1 of OTAs for the New York Football Giants. Day 1 of OTAs is wrapped up for the New York Football Giants, and we got some major injury news to discuss about Daniel Jones. I'll give you my thoughts on the practice, who stood out, and my 5 takeaways from Giants OTA day number 1. Daniel Jones, though, he participated in 7-on-7. Will he be ready to go? I don't know. But this is why you subscribe to the channel. When we get injury news, when we get updates, rumors, no matter what it is, if it's about the New York Giants, we're going to get in the studio and get you guys a video. So if you want free, informative, entertaining, passion-driven content every day on Big Blue, hit that subscribe button right now and help us get to 50,000 subscribers. You're watching Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green. Appreciate everybody for taking time out of their busy schedule to get caught up with us on everything surrounding the New York Giants. Daniel Jones was a participant in 7-on-7 non-contact drills, especially with the quarterback position, on day 1 of Giants OTAs. OTAs are organized team activities. That is really the phase 3 of the Giants offseason, and really the first time that the entire team comes together with the rookies and they start to get some on-field work. Giants OTA schedule is they will practice on May 20th. Already did that. They practice on May 21st, the 23rd, 28th, 29th, 31st, then a little bit of a break, and they come back and wrap it up in June with practices on the 3rd, 4th, 6th, and 7th. To kind of go into a little bit more depth of OTAs, Jordan Ornan of ESPN, awesome insider and beat reporter, says that OTAs start today for the Giants. That's on May 20th. It's phase 3 of the offseason program. Still optional. It's not mandatory. That'll be mandatory minicamp around the corner. Teams can have a total of 10 practices over 4 weeks. They can run 7-on-7, 9-on-7, 11-on-11. No live contact allowed, and the doors open to the media for the first time on Thursday. So the way that we found out about this was Giants.com came out with an article about OTA Day 1. Dan Salamone wrote this, quote, quarterback Daniel Jones, who underwent surgery to repair a torn ACL on November 22nd, took the next step in his rehab and participated in 7-on-7 drills. He completed passes to wide receivers Wan'Dale Robinson and Malik Nabers, the 6th overall pick in the draft. The hope has been to have Jones as a full go for training camp in late July. And this is a great update for Daniel Jones and his rehab process as he tries to bounce back from that torn ACL. The fact that he's already participating in 7-on-7s and the hope is for him to be ready to be a full participant in July, it seems like to me he's on track to play week 1 and he will be the signal caller under center for the Giants against the Minnesota Vikings. That's great news. And something I just saw over the weekend, shout out to license plate guy, LPG, big time fan of him. And he's just one of the best Giants fans out there, most notable and known, and for good reason, LPG. He puts on an awesome softball game for charity. And this year, It was the Dexter Lawrence game. And after Daniel Jones was there, hit a little dinger, he was running around the bases with no knee brace. We saw him 2 weeks ago throwing at off-season workouts. No knee brace. I'm just going to look into that and say he's on the right track and he may be ready to go in week 1 as he does come back. So to kind of compare Daniel Jones and his timeline with other quarterbacks coming back from an ACL, we've shown this graphic a couple of times. This comes from Dan Duggan of The Athletic. Check him out, one of my favorite Giants beat reporters. Kyler Murray got hurt in week 14, didn't come back until week 10 the next year. Joe Burrow, week 11, he was ready to roll for the season opener. Jimmy Garoppolo got hurt in week 3. He wasn't ready to go until week 1. Deshaun Watson, same timeline as Daniel Jones, towards ACL in week 9, was ready to go in week 1. And then Carson Wentz, an extremely fast turnaround, got hurt in week 14 and was ready to go in week 3. Daniel Jones tore his ACL in week 9. Do you think he will be ready to go in week 1? Predict it for me in the chat. Does Daniel Jones play week 1 for the New York Giants against the Minnesota Vikings? I think he does. And I'm kind of changing my mind on that just from the information I am hearing. What do you think? Why for yes and for no? Coming up next, we got to talk about Malik Nabers, Andrew Phillips, Theo Johnson, and a UDFA making plays at day 1 of Giants OTAs. That's around the corner, but first, I got to get you all hooked up with our proud sponsor, Prize Picks. Go to prizepicks.com/CLNS. Use that promo code CLNS, and Prize Picks, the #1 daily fantasy sports app, will match your first deposit up to $100. It's daily fantasy sports made easy. All you do is pick 2+ players, and you choose more or less on their stat line. PrizePicks.com/CLNS, promo code CLNS, and they'll match your first deposit up to $100. Put $100 in your account, they'll give you $100 for free. Pick more, pick less, play Prize Picks. Support the show, support the sponsor. Prize Picks has been sponsoring our show all season long, and we want to keep them here. So please play Prize Picks and support. Use our link. It's in the live comments, description, and chat of today's video. Alrighty, some OTA day 1 news and notes. The Giants mainly operated in 7-on-7s and 11-on-11s, and they were done in the red zone. And that is something that I'm glad, and that's something that the Giants have really done since Brian Daboll has taken over. They start their offseason workouts and really on-field work in the red zone. And that's a spot the Giants absolutely have to be better at in 2024. We'll talk about that in a second. But Devin Singletary, new running back Devin Singletary, scored the first touchdown in 7-on-7s. It was a pass. It was a catch and run. So good to see him being involved. He's more of a runner than a pass catcher. He's done that before, but good to see Singletary get involved and score that first TD for him. I'm expecting a big year from Motor. I wanted to say Turbo for some reason because of Dante Turbo Miller, but Motor. You got Motor, you got Turbo. Love that. But I do like the Giants consistently start their offseason on-field work together while working in the red zone. One of the main reasons the Giants were a winning football team in 2022 was their complementary football, taking advantage of opportunities. The Giants scored touchdowns in 2022 on 64.8% of their red zone trips. That's a 5th best in the National Football League. You got to get 6 when you're inside the 20. If you get 3s, you're going to lose. And Giants did a whole lot of losing. They did a whole lot of getting 3s in the red zone last year. They go from 64.8 of a red zone touchdown percentage to 29.4. They couldn't get the job done in the red zone last year. They're going to need to be much better than 30 if they want to compete in the NFC East. UDFA Alex Johnson, the nickel corner out of UCLA, had the first interception of OTAs. Unfortunately, I don't know who it was on. Giants.com did not put who threw that interception. They are so awesome when it comes to that stuff. But so I unfortunately do not know who threw it. I would suspect, though, it was either Locke or DeVito, considering they were going up against the third-string UDFAs. But maybe it was Daniel Jones. I just do not have that answer for you. But good to see him get some work early on. He had a really good career. He had a really good career at UCLA. He was actually graded out really nicely by Pro Football Focus, had a lot of success in the slot, and that's a spot where he could maybe find himself on this roster. You look at the cornerback depth chart. I don't have him featured. I don't have any of the UDFAs featured on this depth chart. They're going to make the team before you get on my depth charts. But with Deonte Banks, Nick McLeod, Cordell Flott, Trey Hawkins, David Long Jr., Andrew Phillips, and Darnay Holmes, those are really the only guys I have as shoo-ins for this roster, and a question mark around Holmes. If Johnson has a great spring and summer and plays good in the preseason, yeah, I could see him being a backup slot corner for this team. I also heard that Malik Nabers was very productive in the limited amount of action that he saw. Giants continue to hold him back just a little bit, which is smart. You don't need to empty in the tank at day one of OTAs, but Dan Salamone said this about Malik Nabers. Nabers, LSU's all-time leader in receptions and receiving yards, had a productive first OTA and hauled in a handful of passes during 7-on-7 and 11-on-11 work. The latter came off the arm of Drew Lock, who was added this offseason. Drew Lock's a smart man. Get the ball to Malik Nabers and watch him cook. Good to see Nabers get active early on in OTAs and him starting to find that chemistry with Drew Lock. From Drew Lock to Drew Phillips. Andrew Phillips, the slot corner from Kentucky, third-round pick. Suppose we had a nice PBU in 7-on-7s. And right now, to be honest with you, my way too early prediction is Andrew Phillips is going to be the starting slot corner for this football team. We saw immediately after the NFL draft, Brian Daboll and Joe Shane refer to Phillips as a slot corner. And then Daboll, I think it was at rookie minicamp, said that slot corner is a priority position for him. They used a third-round pick on Phillips to play the slot. At the time, they used a third-round pick on Cordell Flott to play the slot. Early prediction from Marsh, Drew Phillips will be the starting slot corner for this team. Takeaway number 5 is Theo Johnson was able to haul in a reception at OTAs, and I am really all in. Theo Johnson is my sleeper from this class, and maybe I'm a part of the majority in that department, but I think we're going to look back, whether it's a year from now, whether it's 2 years from now, and say the Giants may have got the steal of the draft in Theo Johnson. I think he was underutilized at Penn State. I don't think they put him in position to where he could execute and use his talents to the best of his ability. I'm expecting Theo Johnson to be a big-time player in this league. Extremely athletic guy, large catch radius, nice soft hands, and I think he's going to be a red zone monster at 6'6+. I'm ready for Giants football, man. I am. If you're ready, hit that thumbs up icon. 16 more Sundays till we're back rooting on Big Blue. Make sure you are following me on social media. I'm on Twitter. I'm on Instagram at @MarshallGreen_. If you could, please hit me up over there, and let's go G-Men.
Oh, Bronx boy.
What was he saying?
Tex was putting the links in the chat, and he was like, yo, Seeps, you got a Prize Picks link?
Dad.
Oh, that's funny.
16 Sundays, Corinne. 16 Sundays. Rich Rod coming in with a $2 super chat. Shout out to him. I think he's referring to Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
Says 24 touchdowns, 3,900 yards, 5 rushing, 9 picks, and a Pro Bowler. My question to the chat is this. If Daniel Jones puts up these stats next year, is he on the team in 2025? Reminder, if you cut him, you save about $20 million. If you don't, he's on the books for $47 million next year. Is this enough from Daniel Jones to keep his spot as the Giants starting quarterback? Hard for me to say because I don't know the success of this team. And I've asked this question a couple of times. Thank you, Corinne. Thanks for stopping by. Only reason I believe that is because that's what I've been told. And
oh, my God, Mr. Rick. He's going to slowly start converting. After the Giants, just keep on breaking his heart.
The only way I'm keeping Daniel Jones on this football team for 2025 is if I feel after the 2024 season he can be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. And that's not measured by stats. That's measured by my eyes. And so far, my eyes tell me Daniel Jones cannot be a franchise quarterback that can win a Super Bowl. And I know that means Marshall hates Daniel Jones. I also don't think Patrick Seaman could be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. I don't know. I don't know if that's enough because I don't know what those equal. I need to have a for sure feeling in my stomach that Daniel Jones can be a franchise quarterback that can win a Super Bowl. If not, I got to move on. I don't know. I can't judge it by stats, Lobo. I can't. I don't know what that means. Do the Giants go 4-13 with those numbers? Giants go 10-7. Because to be honest with you, I don't care what his numbers are. It's pretty obvious when you just watch.
Yeah.
And you need to be able. I need to have the feeling that he can win a Super Bowl. Damn, vibes. My bad, dog.
I'm saying, dude.
Why is he still coming after you, Seeps?
Because he hasn't seen me sling the pill too much.
I've seen it. It's terrible. It's terrible. Rich Rod. If he's a Pro Bowler, that means he was top 6 that season. Ooh. That could not be further from the truth, my man.
Yeah.
That could not be further from the truth. Mac Jones has made a Pro Bowl.
Pretty sure Tyler Huntley
made the Pro Bowl in 2023. Pro Bowl means nothing to me, to be honest with you. Especially considering the teams in the Super Bowl who have 2 QBs
are
not playing in the Pro Bowl.
All-Pro, obviously totally different.
All-Pro, different. Daniel Jones is an All-Pro. I will re-sign him.
Yes.
I will keep him on the team.
Yes.
Maybe you meant All-Pro. I'll tell you this. He ain't an All-Pro if you throw 29 touchdowns and less than 4,000 yards.
Yeah.
But I get it. All righty. Let's do it. Last chance if you want to be on our mailbag today. # Giants or Super Chat. Want to close the show with a mailbag? Let's
It's about to be a movie, fellas.
If your question doesn't get on screen, it's Seeps' fault. I guess it means Seeps hates you if he doesn't put your questions on screen.
Exactly. I'm only picking my favorites for this mailbag.
Blue City Empire Sports. Great to see you back in the chat, man. My favorite Giants memory. One of the 2 Super Bowls that I got to witness. Either 42 or 46. That's tough to pick. It's like asking me which one's my favorite kid. We all have one, but we're not supposed to say it. Either 42 or 46 for me, my man. And if it's not the Super Bowl, it's the win in the playoffs against the 49ers that sent them to the Super Bowl. That was the best game of Eli Manning's career. That was the best game of Eli Manning's career. That was a franchise quarterback. That game was awesome. All right, let's do it. It's mailbag time here on Giants Now by Chat Sports. I am your host, Marshall Green, and in today's video, we're just going to answer questions from subscribers. So if you don't get your question answered, it means your fault. Not subscribed. Change it. Hit that sub button. We put out free videos every day, and we're on our way to 50,000 subscribers, so help us get there by week 1. CTM coming in with a question. If Waller retires and he unretires, is he now a free agent? That's a good question. If he retires, takes a year off, and then unretires, to my knowledge, Corinne, and you guys will let me know in the comments if I'm wrong, he would still be on the Giants roster. Because from what I understand, which could be wrong, let me know, retiring doesn't necessarily take a year off your contract. You know what I'm saying? That's how I have understood it. But I will do research for you, Corinne, and I will try to get you a more pen to paper factual answer, but to my knowledge, which I don't have much of, if he retires and then unretires next year, he would still be on the Giants. He would still be on the Giants. Second Gen Dodge, what's up, man? Who is your underrated player heading into the season? That's a good question. I got two. I'm going to go Devin Singletary. I think he's going to be really good. And really good may be a stretch. I think he's going for 1,000 yards if he plays all 17 games. And I'm also looking for Wan'Dale Robinson to go for like 80 catches this year. I think Robinson's going to dominate in that slot now with Nabers and Slayton and Hyatt on the outside. On defense, I'm looking at Dane Belton. Dane Belton is a sleeper for me this year. I expect a lot from him, especially if he's going to be starting, or maybe he doesn't and they go with Newman and Pinnock, but we know that Shane Bowen likes to play a lot of DBs. So I'm looking at Belton, I'm looking at Motor, and I'm looking at Wan'Dale Robinson. Great question, bro. Des Powell, who will have more of an impact, Slayton or Wan'Dale? Man, that's tough for me to decide. Darius Slayton's been, the leading receiver 4 out of 5 years? But it's year 3 for a second-round pick. And it's a contract year for Darius Slayton. And you now have a wide receiver 1 in Malik Nabers, who I think is going to be more of a focus than Slayton. I'm going to go Robinson, but I'm not going to be shocked if it's Slayton. That's really tough for me to answer. I don't know. I'll go with Robinson, though. Gavin Powell, could we trade for T. Higgins? If you would, what would we trade to the Bengals? Could we? Yes. Will we? At this point, I'm going to say no. Giants, I don't think want to forfeit the draft capital, which I think at this point would cost at minimum a first-round pick and then a $30 million per year extension. I just don't see the Giants trading for T. Higgins at this point any longer. You got your wide receiver 1 in Nabers. You got a second-round pick in Wan'Dale Robinson. You got a third-round pick in Jalen Hyatt. And you got a guy in Darius Slayton who's led the team in yards 4 out of 5 years. I'm not saying the Giants love their receiving corps, but they've made enough investments there. They at least have to try it for a year or two. And I don't think Higgins is in the plans. Nope, what's up, man? I think it's about time to go back to 2007 and 2011. Not just winning Super Bowls, but having a stud defense, play some 90s ball. Giants got to get back to being a defensive-minded team, especially with the way that this roster is built right now. Can never have enough pass rushers. And I am very, very thrilled with what the Giants have at pass rusher right now. I'm excited to see what type of production that they can create this year. Burns, Thibodeau. I'm still in on Azeez Ojulari, and you got Dexter Lawrence as well. So I'm looking forward to this D-line, and they should be the best position group on this team. They really should. Johnson Yu coming in. Says, does Daniel Jones have aura? What the hell is aura? I mean, are you wanting me to say another man has swag? Another man's got juice? Go win some football games. As producer Seeps on the fly coming in with this. Does Daniel Jones have aura? That's good stuff there from Patrick Seatman, who I don't think is a franchise quarterback, so therefore I hate him. Does Daniel Jones have aura? I'll let the kids decide this one. CTM, any news on Slayton extension? None. I have not heard a peep. I don't expect it to happen. I think they should do it before he potentially has another big year and then he price points you out. But for me and what I know, I'm going to say there will not be a Darius Slayton extension prior to the season. I know what aura is, but I think it's the dumbest thing in the world. Back in my day, we said swag. And a little swagoo. He does not have swag. Did you see him? Did you see his knee in the Century Red jerseys? His knee did not look good. Yeah, we're off the rails. Make sure you are rocking a Brian Burns jersey for the 2024 season. Get it today by going to chatsports.com/Burns. That's chatsports.com/Burns. Get your Brian Burns jersey today. Stop being a weirdo. Patrick Clark says, what's your thoughts on Tyrone Tracy being kind of old already as a running back? Yeah, I'm not in love with it, Patrick, that he's going to be 25 years old in his rookie season, but I'm bullish on Tyrone Tracy, man. I think he's a player that's going to have some production in this league. I compare him to Cordell Patterson. I compare him to Cordell Patterson. He brings a type of play style to the running back group the Giants just simply do not have. If you didn't know, his first 2 years of his college career at Iowa, he was a receiver. Then he transferred to Purdue, and he switched to a running back. So he's got receiver skills. They can line him up in the slot. They can use him out of the backfield as a weapon. I'm excited to see him play. Maybe he doesn't have the longest career because he's 25, but give me 4 productive years, and I'd say that's a good 5th-round pick. And I'm excited to see him be the kickoff return guy for the Giants. He's an explosive player. He's going to make some plays on that side of the field. Nabers is him. Says, are we stoked for the D-line or what, Marsh? I am. DeVito, Lawrence, Burns, Ojulari, top 10 pick, top 5 pick in Kayvon Thibodeau. First-round pick in Dexter Lawrence. Second-round pick in Azeez Ojulari. $150 million to Brian Burns. They better be good. Let the bread man cook. Yes, sir. Go Rangers. Yo, Marsh, I have a good feeling about this year. DJ actually has weapons. Neighbor and Hyatt, what's your floor and ceiling for the Giants? My floor is 6-11. Floor, I would say, is 5-12. Ceiling, 9-8. My official record prediction is 7-10. Way too early. I would say floor is 5-12. Ceiling is 9-8 for this football team. Neighbors is him. Am I weird for liking the Century Reds? I don't think you're weird at all. I like them for what they are. I don't love the khaki pants, but you know what? That's the part that makes them a throwback jersey. That's the part that makes them a throwback jersey. I love the helmets. I like the jerseys. I just don't like the socks and I don't like the pants. But you know what? I'm a Giants fan, and that is Giants culture and Giants history melted down into a jersey. That's pretty cool to me. Cold one. Wish I had one. Says, what is your expectation for the O-line? How about just give up 84 sacks instead of 85 sacks? How about instead of being the second worst offensive line all time, you're the third? No, seriously. I'm expecting them to be much improved. Much improved. You made investments there. John Runyon, $10 million per year. Second year of John Michael Schmitz. You paid Jermaine Illuminor. Hopefully Evan Neal increases his production by 5%. You signed Stinney. You signed Schlottman. I'm expecting this team to be, can we be a top 18 offensive line? That'd be pretty cool. That's where we're at, top 18. Michael Cook, what's up, man? Thanks for always being here. For pass rushing downs, where do you see the Giants lining up on the line? I have Azeez, KT, Dex, and Burns. I'm cool with some NASCAR. I'm cool with a little throwback NASCAR with Matthias Kiwanuka, OCU Minora, Justin Tuck, JPP, and before that, obviously, Michael Strahan. Yeah, let's run some NASCAR. Let's do it. Pin your ears back and get after the quarterback. I'm in on that. Hector, if Jones crashed out the season, will we draft a QB or get a vet? Yes. If Daniel Jones does not play to the level where the Giants are convinced he's a Super Bowl winning quarterback, they will move on. And that might be free agency, that might be a trade, or the draft. But you will have a big-time acquisition at the quarterback position if Daniel Jones does not earn a roster spot for 2025. Shout out to everybody that got their questions in. Appreciate you guys. Love doing these mailbags, just chopping it up with y'all. Follow me on social media, and let's go Big Blue. What a question. What a weigh-in.
Love it, Johnson, you.
Bill, what are you asking? He says, someone said the shorter socks on the Century Reds violate uniform rules. Something about no skin showing. Is that true? Yeah, you're technically not supposed to have any skin showing. What I expect them to do during the regular season is all the players are going to be wearing red tights. All the players will be wearing red tights that look like the socks. All righty. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. I'm exhausted. I'm going to go home and sleep and cry about my Knicks. Shout out to everybody that tuned in, man. Shout out to everybody that showed love. It is May. What's the date?
20th?
And we peaked at 327 people watching.
What's up, guys?
That's pretty damn cool. That's pretty damn cool. I love y'all. I appreciate y'all. We'll see y'all later. Let's go Big Blue.